The first one, the hardest one.
Is
It's not G2 at all. Like G2.
You didn't have problems with Amane Cop, no?
No.
All right, well, welcome. We're going into the playoffs. We've got, obviously, NaVi, SDY, and Simple, Kerrigan and Rain over here from FaZe. I guess the big question on everyone's mind is both you teams have shown some ability and some propensity at peaking at the right moment within a tournament. Which one of you two teams is peaking higher right now?
I don't know. I think we feel pretty comfortable, but of course, not so long ago we played them in Lisbon and they peaked a little bit higher than us there, you know. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see when we meet.
Okay.
I think we have 5 days of practice. I think it's gonna help both of us.
So
fix mistakes.
this time off between the group stage?
Yeah, and I think us and FaZe have interesting opponents on the stage.
Yeah, in the
That can
semifinals.
surprise. I mean, they may be fired up. You know. But I think they have more interesting matchup between Liquid and Movistar Riders.
Yeah.
So if you could because both the matchups in the quarterfinals have a team with some veterans, like Astralis plays Zipex, Liquid has Elige, NAF, Nitro, and they have a team of rookies in Mouz and a team that never played on a stage like this to Movistar. Would you actually prefer playing the veterans because you know them a bit better, or do you prefer playing the quote-unquote weaker team in Mouz or Movistar?
I would prefer play our bracket, I mean, I think Movistar Riders is if they can show better performance, if they catch this moment on stage, they're a strong opponent. Because I think they crossed this line after they won the tournament in Valencia, that they can beat good teams, and that gives them confidence.
Like they gain this confidence, and while they're playing, they have a lot of early aggression rounds combinations that new in game. Some of them I don't even see any before, and that's why I think they're a pretty decent team right now.
How about you guys?
Yeah, I think it all depends. Obviously, for me, it's more like playstyle wise, which kind of style you're going up against, and do we have some experience with previous teams, right? So we have a lot of experience with Liquid, even the older Liquid, right? It was a split there, and also we have played against them a few times this year or last year as well. So Movistar is always very interesting to practice and to play. I like to have this aggressive style, and they don't shy away from it. What they do in official games, they do in practice, and that often turns into a good result, because then when you come on down and you play these arena matches and if they still play the same in the group stage, then I expect them to do really good in playoffs. So they took a map off NaVi, right, and had a great run so far. So definitely I think if we meet Movistars, that's a more tougher opponent, and we will have less experience playing against that kind of team.
I think also for you guys specifically, right, the experience you had in 2018 with Big in the semifinals, right, and you guys being the massive favorite there, things not going your way. Do you think you two specifically were there? Does that help you now to make sure the team has the right mindset, right? That you're not thinking about the final and NaVi and whatnot already in your heads. There's still a game that has to be played before that.
I think it's very hard to compare this team with the old team. Our old team also in a scenario we didn't practice with Kroman. We knew Olof's gonna come back within a month or two. Cologne was a chance to win the Grand Slam, and I think that was one of those tournaments suddenly at that point Astralis was the best team in the world or about to make an era, and now we beat them. And that kind of created a situation. Okay,
we lost to BAG.
Yeah, and then we had to play the big game after. And I think we got too excited about NaVi beating maybe Astralis, because it was tough to play Astralis back then, right? And suddenly we lost to big. And I think it was the mentality of the team wasn't good, and our mindset back then and where we were as a team was really bad. And it just takes 5% less individual skill, energy, and we lose all the games,
Has there been any difference in your guys' approach for you three specifically, Rain, Kerrigan, and Simple? It took you guys a long time of your career to win the major, and obviously with Stockholm and then Antwerp, now that you guys have it, is there any kind of a change in how you approach things or your philosophy on how you practice and prepare, or just as a player, that lack of pressure of needing to win the big trophy?
I think for me, especially in 2022, I've changed the way I approach the game.
Okay.
Mainly because of getting Kerrigan and Robs as well, and seeing their work ethic that they brought with them. It's something that I didn't really have in my team before. I think the only one that was under level was Nico, right?
Yeah.
And the other players I've played with, they never really had that work ethic and the amount of time you need to put into a game. And it has helped me this year, for sure.
Just like a motivating factor, the extra guys coming in.
Yeah, and the young guys as well, you know. Me and Kerrigan is the old guys now in the team, and he's a little bit older than me, but that's okay. But so yeah, having them in the team, and it's a good motivation boost for me.
Yeah. What about for you guys? That mentality shifted now that you've won the major at all?
I mean, I think because of experience, you know better how it's for you better to prepare before games, before important games as well. So, for example, I know how much time I need to warm up before game, so I don't overplay before game because it comes with time, and I think it's very important. Some people don't play. For example, I stopped to play some FPL games before the game day because I can overreact on some.
Yeah.
Not like tier 1 players, you know, or I can play the same style on official games, and I would think it will work, but it's less better players, you know.
Yes.
You're saying Loba rushing through smokes with
Yeah,
back 10 doesn't
like
help
that,
you prepare
yeah.
for the grand
Or
final?
you just play and you know that Loba will come out right now, and you just stay. It's fun if you kill him, you know, but you don't practice anything. You just wait for him. So yeah, overall, yeah, especially before big games like Major and other tournaments, Cologne, Katowice, I think it's a really good experience when you know how to approach the game.
Yeah. Have you had a change in your approach to the game coming into a team that now has all this experience and has the major trophies? Have you picked anything up from guys like Simple or Electronic?
Yeah, to be honest, first of all, like the time of preparation and time when you're practicing warm up and things like that, it's less than it was, for example, in Spirit for me.
Okay.
But it's more efficient. Like it's you spending less time, but it's a better quality. Like we're doing a lot of things that I never seen before, and when you took it really serious and go deep into it, you're updating your game and your game sense like every hour, for example. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you something similar. You know, you joined the team obviously with, you know, two of the best players for the region, the best coach as well, who've won a lot. So once you first came in and you started first couple of practices, how big of a difference was it to the way you viewed the game and the way it was? Like, was it pretty much aligned, but you just expanded on that and learned more, or did a lot of things change for you, like in the way you started seeing the game?
In the big pictures, it was kind of the same, but everything was in the small details. And I did a lot of scripts. They give me a lot of scripts to understand what I should do. And first of all, I just learn it. Then after I do it for some times, I start getting another things that was like what I said in the small details, basically.
Cool. Let's talk about the Grand Slam a little bit now, because we just touched on 2018 where you had a chance to start going down that road or complete that path, and now you have another one here. You've already missed one opportunity in Dallas. I mean, this is another chance to add onto it, but this is going to be a much tougher road. Do you feel yet like you missed out on Dallas, or is it just kind of focus on Cologne, forget about it?
I mean, we all knew what went wrong in Dallas, right? Like as a captain, I know I wasn't there 100%, based off like how much time we put in for the major and the boot camp, right? So we did our best, and the tournament was very strange in itself with a lot of standings and results left and right. So yeah, when we lost to the winning team, Cloud9, they played really great there, right? And I'm not that worried. I mean, there's a lot of chances too in the Grand Slam, and it's very like hard to think about the Grand Slam when you're still 2 tournaments away. It's very different when you actually play the final tournament, and you know, like, okay, we have to win 1 out of 4 tournaments or 1 out of 5 tournaments. Then it's very different. For now, I just see Cologne as Cologne and not about the Grand Slam at all at this point. No, it's gonna be very tough, right? And we have some things we needed to learn from Blast against NaVi, right? That we need to be there 100%, because if we're not there 100%, everyone else is gonna take every win away from us, right? So yeah, I think for now just tournament by tournament, game by game, round by round.
When we spoke in Lisbon, you and I, we talked about Electronic kind of shifting into the end game leader position and how it can sometimes be tough to go back to it. But now that you have also gotten to see Navi play here in Cologne, at least in the group stages, you still impressed with what you're seeing out of Electronic as an end game leader?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was very tough to kind of get a grasp from the outside how Electronic was calling at Blast, right? Because they were about just smashing everyone, and I know that as a caller in New York, when we smashed everyone, you don't really need to call when everybody's just shooting left and right, right?
Yeah.
And you can do some good things there, but we have also to see if Navi has a tough game, can he find a solution, or is the team good enough to find a solution together?
Yeah.
But so far,
So
they
good.
look really good, right? And I'm impressed.
Did you expect his switch to an end game leader to be this kind of like he would just step into it so seamlessly, so easily? Like
No, I
having
think
played
we-
with him for so long, did you see this quality in him?
In Electronic?
Yes, as an end game leader.
Yeah, he has quality to do really good mid calls. I think it's his skill to do mid calls.
Yeah.
But overall, I don't think that we had like perfect start. Even if we won this last tournament, I mean, we still need to work a lot on T side to not forget some rounds because a lot of roles changed and a lot of nades changed as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the interesting part as well is you are Electronic along with the core of the SK team are the only guys who have won Cologne 2 times. Meanwhile, here we have 2 guys who've been at every single one, but didn't make the final. Didn't make the final, right? So do you think that maybe gives you like a small edge in a way, since also it's been 3 years since we could even get into the Lanxess, right? So it's been a long time for everyone. Brocky wasn't even playing, you know, for example, the tier Bit wasn't playing, you know, in the tier 1 scene back then. So you think that little bit of extra experience from Electronic will help you guys out?
It's just another tournament.
Yeah.
My stage is cool. Stage is nice, but it's just another great tournament with great audience. I had a chance to win it 3 times with Liquid.
That's right, you
First
did.
time. Yeah, that
The
was,
good old days, we call
that was
those.
fun.
I just wish we could see that 1v2 live from your POV.
Yeah,
Shout out to Pius one time.
yeah, it would be insane.
What is it about this tournament? Because you Simple once again playing a tournament at such like a crazy level. Can you tell when you're going to come into a tournament and be this dominant on an individual level? Like, do you have a feeling that you're just like, oh, this tournament I'm going to be on?
No, I don't have. I mean, we have a lot of days to prepare.
Okay.
I will tell it on last day before games. you know.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, right now we're just trying to fix all these mistakes. We had a lot of mistakes,
Okay.
and it should be less mistakes to repeat other teams.
You always feel that way. There's always less
Yeah.
mistakes.
There's always mistakes.
There's
You
always
just have to just look
There's
good
always
for
a lot of
them.
mistakes.
Should have won 16-0 and won 16-2. Two mistakes for sure.
I mean, you guys obviously met 2 times recently, Blast, the major, right? And you split the series, obviously there. Do you feel like, you know, the reason why you went was that just the other team peaked at the right time, right? And that you had your own issues. Obviously, you had, you know, still some issues at Blast, and for you guys at the major, it's already been a long road, and some of the things were probably maybe knew already that some changes might have to happen, and so on. So do you think now you're in a like decent spot with both teams, where actually you feel like if you met, it would be a good close game? There's no like asterisks like that. Jason, moving on.
Next question.
Hey, it's fair.
Oh, perfect. I don't even know how to rephrase that in any
I mean,
meaningful
of
way.
course, they overtook our spot, number 1.
You have it back.
Yeah, it's back now.
Yeah, just by
I think-
results, 3 tournaments against 1, and yeah, it's. I mean, it's obviously that they really close, and it's more interesting to play against. You know,
Yeah.
you're more trying to anti-strat or learn opponent, because it's these games is more harder to win when you win them.
What's
it's
the
more, it's more, you know, it's more nice inside.
Yes.
When you win this team,
Bigger
or
satisfaction.
some team in group stage, like the first game, best of 1, something
Yeah.
like that.
How does the difference, if you guys are, like, the dream final is obviously Navi versus FaZe in the grand final. How does it change? You guys have played each other in 2 best of 3s. This would be a best of 5.
That's great.
You liked it being the best of 5?
Yes.
It's been a fun series.
It's
for
long.
sure.
It's long day. It's long day for fans. It's like it's new experience.
Yeah.
Not everyone has chance to play best of 5 on stage in front of 15 or 18,000 people.
Yeah.
And
No
especially
FPL before best of 5.
If it happens, right, I think also it's like we're so even on so many maps.
Right.
There's gonna be a lot of clutch moments left and right, and in the end, if it gets to a 5th map, it's all about who has less fatigue.
Less
because-
mistakes.
Yeah, less.
Yeah.
There
mistakes.
will be many mistakes on 5th map, because I think that is what best of 5 final is about. You know, it's a long road, and you can also be behind 2-0. It's very hard to come back from, right?
Yeah, it's like first phase, PHA,
Yes.
phase or
Phase. It's phase. Yeah.
Yeah.
It messes us
The
up.
first one is Vito. It's the most interesting.
Yeah.
You
What are
prepare
the maps?
maps. You can try to outplay. For example, they don't play Vertigo, so
Yeah, you're gonna play with the map veto a little bit.
who
so?
knows?
100% winner than Vertigo, man.
Yeah, we lost that as well now. It's 0 now.
It's there now?
Yeah.
Oh,
But if you go 6 months, it's 100%.
okay.
You've been enjoying your time with Navi so far, stepping up to this level and playing within this team. Learning experience, obviously, but it's a good time.
Yeah, basically it was always my dream to play Tier 1 Counter-Strike and play for Navi, and like when you get to that point, you're trying to focus on every moment that you have, like in practice, in games, like whatever. Everything that I'm doing, I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm trying to put that much effort that team needs.
I had a question for you, Simple. Last year, you guys were the best team in the world, obviously, and you almost kind of got a little bit robbed of your era because of everything that happened. You had to make changes, but in all of that time, is FaZe the hardest team you had to play? Like this FaZe, last year you played a lot against G2, for example, had a lot of finals. Didn't lose any of them, but some of the
Last
games
year
were
it
close.
was the hardest to play Gambit.
Yeah.
It was the hardest games. I mean, I feel like with Flamey and when Beat just came instead of him, I think everything what we did, they just were copying, not copying, like they did the same strats, but they did it better. Like for young players, for their structure and follow this, and I mean, we knew game better, but they just did everything mechanically better, as a team. They catch this rotation, they know great timings, and Axel was doing a lot of headshots, Shiro with op, and I think it was the first one, the hardest one.
Is
It's not G2 at all. Like G2,
Did you have problems with Amane Cop? No.
no. I mean, it was a weird, like how they always managed to go in finals, and I don't know. They beat some teams so easily, Even I remember in Cologne they beat the Gambit.
Yeah.
But now I think, now G2 maybe is not stronger as a team, but they have much better players now individually.
But
maybe now not. I don't know.
Is this phase more difficult to play than Gambit was last year?
No,
Or
I
is
think,
it like you would say
I
it's
think
like
with
pretty-
Gambit we played around like 10 or
Yeah.
even more games, and with FaZe we played like 3 games, 2 at Major, no 1 at Major, 1 at Katowice, and 1 at Blast.
Blast, yeah.
Probably, no?
Probably.
Probably.
2-2.
2-2.
2-2.
I don't remember. Pro League
Tiebreaker
it was-
at
It
Cologne.
sounds like
yeah,
a
baby.
best of 5 final.
Yeah.
Where is it was the Pro League?
Düsseldorf.
Düsseldorf, yeah.
Oh yeah, you beat us in the semi-final.
Quarter.
Quarter, I think. Yeah.
We forget about that one too. It's fine. We'll just leave it go.
It's a weird tournament.
No, semi-final.
Was it semifinal?
Yeah,
No, we played fewer semi-final and final.
Oh yeah.
We played Cloud9 in 9 to 12 place.
But we got first place. Is it not direct to semi-final?
No, not in.
quarters.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. So it's 2-2. But with Gambit it was like this online RMR qualifiers. You play against them all the time.
All the time. I mean, speaking about that, there's a big conversation with with Liquid going on that's bringing Yekindar in, and the conversation from all those players is that Yekindar is bringing in so many ideas from the CIS region and that play style and updating them in terms of the new meta. as an in-game leader, Kerrigan, when you look at it, do you feel like there's like the current meta is like a very like CIS influenced style of Counter-Strike compared to where it's been previously?
Yeah, I think yes and no. I think if you look in like the top six, us and Ensign's very the same DNA in how we see the game, very explosive, a lot of moves around, getting to the 3-on-3s and try to play them down. Where now with the Cloud9, they're playing this very good basic CS and reminds of the old SK and they try to play the basics the best, right? And obviously the way if Cloud9 is the best team in the world to play the basics, we're not gonna challenge them on the basics. You have to find another way to make them sure to make them comfortable, right? Yeah. So I think it all depends who's on the top, and obviously now it's been on the top for so many years and months, right? That many will copy them more than us. But it was good to see that someone else had kind of found the same style as we did and had success with it like Ents, right? So I mean that's where I see us and Ents as very close to each other when it comes to that, and that's also why it's very strange to play them sometimes, because it is
Mirror match.
very explosive, and I think that's the same NaVi and Gambit had, right? It is kind of the mirror match of the same style, but if they do it better than you, then it's very tough to win in the same style.
Do you see that as well, Simple? Do you see like, or SUI as well, do you guys see like CIS Counter-Strike influence like kind of leaking out into like European and North American Counter-Strike? When you look at some of the other teams, do you see things they're taking from Gambit and NaVi and the Spirits?
Yeah, I think everyone taking, especially from the lower tier Counter-Strike, everyone trying to take something from tier 1. And you can see it in the rounds, you can see it in mid-game calls, someone trying to copy even your even your refrags, for example. Some people doing things 5 versus 3, 5 versus 4 that you will do in these matchups.
Okay.
So basically everyone copied something from everybody.
Yeah, I remember Fnatic. It was the easiest team to play against because they never respect you, you know.
Yeah.
And every time I play against them, they like to overpeak, and I never understand why they does this. Just wait. And
Makes it easy.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you said explosive, right?
Yeah.
The play style. Yeah, it's actually cool. It's I mean, it's great when you play fast. You get trade like one by one. You take side, and all what you need to do is just to win against retake. And it's for individual good teams like FaZe. It's really good.
It's very good.
Yeah. So you're better to do more than one kill when they go.
It's also when you run into stack, it's not so good to play close. Has to make the right call, right time.
There's a
That's
downside to that.
Yeah. But that's why I love CS, and I love CS like for 20 years. There's never the right solution to how you play.
Yeah.
You can always improve your style, right? And you can always change your style up. So, but yeah, when Gambit won everything online, you could see how many people copied them, and it was insane.
Maui,
Yeah.
the boys, Movi, Liquid. Who's gonna fight? Who's gonna win in the fight? No, okay.
I was gonna ask, how do you guys perceive Movistar's run at this event? Do you guys think they overperformed, or do you think this is like what they should have done, given that they just came off the Valencia win?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, because like I was watching the finals because they played outsiders in the final, and I was interested in the game, and they played really good, and they deserve to win Valencia. And coming after a win, I know how it feels after winning a tournament and going into next tournament, because we had this when I was playing in VP, we had that Flashpoint IEM New York DreamHack Summit, and then Kato we got destroyed in the final by Gambit. But I know how it feels, and they totally deserved. The problem that I had, that we had before, when we had those kind of runs, were the 5-day breaks. So depending on how they will adapt in these 5 days, and we will see. But maybe
Oh, okay.
they're a good team.
I hadn't thought about the break aspect of it though. You know, like because you guys have been on the run, right? Like, I mean, what was the break between lifting Valencia and your first game of Cologne?
I think 2 days only.
2. So you really have been able to just kind of hold on to it, put it in a bottle, and keep that energy high throughout this run. I guess my question to you is, you know, like, what is it that feels different? Is it just energy? You know, is it straight up as in the vibe is I know I'm speaking in vague terms, but the vibe, the energy is so high, and everything feels like it's going right? Or do you feel like there's been active changes in the risks you're taking in game as well?
Well, I actually think that we have really good vibes right now. Maybe it's because what you Kinder said, like we won Valencia and we just keep rolling, we didn't stop. So I actually don't know. I feel we are playing really confident right now, and we are playing on a really nice CS right now level. But we will see who wins actually. I think it's gonna be a really nice match.
I agree, and it's good that I feel that they found their style of how they play on T sides and on CT sides. It's really nice to because I played them a lot before, and it's really nice to see the development of the players because like I started like in tier 1, like we basically started to play like almost at the same time. Like some of the players like played before me, and for example with the senpais, I think we started almost the same time, and it's really nice to see the development of the players, and not only like Movistar but any other like new type players. Like we all came here, and it's nice to see.
I don't think I've seen NaV ever get affected by the crowd. Like you're just one of those guys that can kind of switch it off. Am I putting words in your mouth?
I mean, I don't know. I really enjoy playing in front of a crowd. It's like when you play the game for like so long, it's kind of like the only feeling that you always want to keep reliving is playing in front of a crowd. So I don't know, I'm super pumped. I'm super excited to play in front of a crowd. So yeah, no, I can't wait to play.
And the big ones, you know, like it's this has got to be the biggest crowd you'll play in front of, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Whew. And I mean, you know, do you think that's going to give you that extra bit of keep the juice flowing?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
You guys had a home crowd at Valencia. Like,
Yeah.
everybody was rooting for you, but this is going to be a little bit more divided, though. Do you think the energy is going to shift maybe away from you guys because of that?
I don't know. Maybe. It depends because we have some good friends here on the big team. So I think maybe they are gonna cheer for us. I don't know.
Hey, what, you could get the Roaring Bears fan section to cheer for Movi?
Yeah.
Yo, that would be an advantage for sure.
You know what's interesting? I played in 2 arenas in Stockholm and in the Kato. Stockholm we played in Sweden against Heroic, against Danish crowd, and everybody hates VP outsiders.
Yeah.
So like I've never had the crowd support, and on Kato I played G2 Monacy first arena. Everybody was screaming Monacy, and I'm like, okay, maybe
Yeah.
this time actually gonna have some fans
Oh,
in the arena.
there will be, I'm sure. I think people are loving what Liquid are looking like now. What about the other, you know, the Maui question back? Have you kind of seen, you obviously been studying them recently, your next opponent, but like watching new Liquid, you know, seeing what your Kinder has brought to their game, seeing that they kind of, their maps are changing, their preferences are changing. What would you consider? How would you describe your opponent? This version of Liquid? What do you think you're looking out for?
Well, I think right now, I think Jakinder just brought to Liquid a different style. His role is different. He's just more individual player, more like he's looking for plays always. So I think that's good for them. I think they need someone that's making plays like almost every round. And I think that's bringing them really nice firepower now. I've played against him a lot. It's really hard to read him. He's just making plays every time. So I think they are really dangerous right now.
I want to know from you guys, I'm sure you've been, like NaV, you've been looking at their stuff. And right now, when we describe Movistar, we talk about the individuals and kind of the momentum, but how would you actually characterize the style of Movistar?
What I saw is like slow T-sides, slow methodical T-sides, and which they understand what they need in the round and what they want to achieve in defaults, and they have good endings on those rounds. They have really good individual skill coming into this tournament. All of the players are super good. The 1 versus 4 pistol against NaVi, that was nice. I saw that. And on CT side, I think they managed their utility really well, and save a lot of grenades that are needed to close out the round in the end game, because a lot of pro players, even tier 1, they don't think about utility. What I saw is just different approach.
Yeah, we played them at ESL Pro League in Dusseldorf. And, yeah, I just remember like playing them, and like Alex would still be like jiggling with getting info on like lane at a B bomb site on Ancient still at like 40 seconds. I'm like, this guy still has full nades at B. Like, we need to do something here.
Yeah, right.
You know, Merrick said, like, they're very smart at like holding utility and all that, and they kind of remind me like a little bit like Cloud9. So, but yeah, no, I know that they're a very tough opponent. Obviously, we lost to them back in Dusseldorf, and I remember losing to them. I was so frustrated. I was just like, oh my god, I don't know how to beat these guys.
Yeah. And you
yeah.
mentioned Ancient, because like, I mean, both of you have looked good on Ancient throughout this tournament as well. I mean, what do you make of the new Ancient changes? Do you think it's going to level out the T sides a bit?
Yeah, it could be, but we didn't change anything on Ancient. I mean, we still play the same.
I mean, they're minor changes, but it does seem like I'm seeing, it could just be, you know, my headcanon, but I feel like I'm seeing more like split halves. I'm not seeing like dominant CT halves. It's not like 13 twos.
It got more.
It's more T-side, yeah.
Yeah,
At least
definitely.
the changes on A were like nice. Just like getting rid of that one like hole in
Definitely.
the temple was good.
Like
yeah.
Donut doesn't feel like you're just having the worst time of the
Oh,
night.
yes.
When an AWPer just shows up, but as you're running up Donut, you just feel like you lost the round.
Luckily, there's like a little bit more space in there, so you can actually move around a
Yeah.
little bit. But, yeah.
Okay. So good changes. Thumbs
Yeah,
up
at
from the
at least on A.
Yeah,
Yeah, on A it was good changes. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. It's funny how little changes can make such a world of difference on in Counter-Strike.
Yeah, definitely. Just one change on this team and it looks completely different.
Oh, yeah. that was nice.
That was pretty
10 points to Gryffindor.
What do you think about when you look at Movistar's players? Like, who is a guy that you have to worry about?
Sun Pyrus.
I agree. Sometimes.
Well, obviously, like, I played them a lot before, and always like the lookout guy was Mopos because he was always pushing in some certain timing, some part of the map. That's always hard to play against because like if he pushes somewhere where we are not, then they get so much information, and he's kind of like I play on CT sides a lot of the positions like him. And we have similar roles as well on CT sides.
Would you say Mopaz is your counterpart then? If there was one to
I
one
guess
role?
1-to-1, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think yes. So it's always hard to play against that kind of a player. But if you don't know, we know that he pushes, and I don't know. before we knew that he was pushing, and we were playing against it, but.
Doesn't it make it
Now
more?
I know-
Doesn't it make it more frustrating when you know a player is pushing, or you know a player is going to push, and he still gets away with it?
Yeah.
But
That's the most
thing.
triggering.
That's why we are pushing.
Yeah.
Because like even everybody knows that I'm pushing Banana and Inferno.
Yeah. Still
Still-
get it.
still
Still
nobody's
get away
looking.
with it.
What does Mopaz then unlock for you as a caller? Because he can go for any of those plays.
I cannot do nothing. He just say, Alex, I will do this. Okay, go for it. Yeah.
So you don't even have him on a lead?
No.
No. Okay, he brought his own.
No,
color.
no one on the team.
No?
It's freedom for everyone. Yeah.
Interesting. So there is not so much of a hierarchy. It's more like a democracy.
Yeah, it's like we play default, so we need to have like initiative to do the things. If not, we are not gonna do anything in on the default. So yeah, we need that kind of players.
The only problem if it doesn't work a couple times, then it's gonna be bad.
Yeah. Right. So if you're not finding those gaps you normally find, it can be easy to kind of find yourself in a bit of a round deficit and have no ideas flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like either you overcome and you're being stubborn and you follow your own line, or you just surrender to enemy's line and then you play differently. And because I know this,
Yeah,
I know
sure, but
I
that's-
have all the same situations in all the maps. Either I push and push and push, or I just sit down and I'm like, yes, come here,
Yeah.
come here.
I wonder if that's, when players say we want to play our own game, and we at talent desks roll our eyes and go, oh, they want to play their own game. What does that even mean? Like everyone wants to play their game. But I think that what we're talking about now might be what it's referencing. Like in terms of playing our own game, we're going to hopefully do our defaults, have the initiative, find the frags, be able to convert, and not get stuck. And that's playing their game. If they start getting dictated to and just letting the opponent kind of force your hand, you're not playing your game.
It's like exactly like if opponents control like what is happening on the map, then you're already losing.
Right.
Yeah, you should have a B plan to play every time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Now, you got anything else you want to throw in there?
I guess you've been catching a lot of people's attention too, Sampayas. Why do you think you're having this rise in form?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Well, I don't know. I'm just playing, so I try to shoot the enemies with the op. So
Aha.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the secret. That's the secret sauce. But you are consistent. Like, I mean, a lot of players in your role are streaky, volatile. Like,
yeah.
but you seem to have a formula that leads you to very consistent impact.
I just try to play default and read the other team, so then I can see where I can move and where I can have the impact. So I think I'm really good at managing the utilities and moving the team. So yeah, I think that's the key for the ops right now.
And you know, we were referencing that there is a democracy on the team. You know, not 5 voices, not necessarily 1 or 2. Do you also find yourself kind of making, like Marpos saying, I'm going for this move. I need you to be here. I need this here, and you can kind of ask and move to facilitate, to help you find those openings.
Yeah, they do actually.
Yeah.
My teammates just call me sometimes like, come here and hold me this. Yeah, and we do some plays together, so it's really nice.
It is. It's super
But
exciting.
actually, Mopos is always just making plays through the smokes, so I can do shit.
That too. Take the Spanish angle for a second. You know, Spanish Counter-Strike, especially CSGO, is a conversation that doesn't have or hasn't happened often. Do you feel a little extra pressure knowing that an entire kind of region's Counter-Strike representation hinges on you? You know, that could be something, I guess, you could be a motivator, but also could be a stressor. It could be something that it feels like there's a lot more resting on your performance.
Well, I actually tell to my teammates always, like, live the person, smile, control the situation. Like, when we are just playing, we are just focus on playing.
Yeah.
We are not thinking about, oh my God, everyone is watching us. We are just playing, we are just focused, we try to do our best, and that's all.
Do you think you're going to be able to keep that when you've walked out in front of 15,000 people, lights on a giant stage, and you're plugging in your mouse and keyboard with everyone staring at you?
I think we will try.
Hell
We
yeah,
will try
bro.
for sure. I will tell them, control the situation, chill.
Would Blade help you guys in these kinds of moments?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Always.
Yes.
But what kind of stuff does maybe elaborate on what Blade brings to the team as a coach?
Just he's just trying to help us to gestionar, ¿cómo se dice gestionar? Manage the pressure and
okay.
and yeah, something like that.
Cool.
There's like an emotional coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Or
He does both parts.
Okay.
He just brings too much for us on CS, I mean.
Yeah.
He also brings a lot about emotions, because
Okay.
he knows how to talk with us. I think he's really good.
I was about to ask about Daps and Damien Steele, but I realize he's probably still playing catch up as well. I mean,
I really believe that bringing Damien was like a good fit for the team. Like, I think like bringing him in, I kind of wanted more of like a different perspective instead of having a Dren where it's kind of like we all like know like how we all are, and it's kind of just like the same page, and we're kind of just repeating the same pages. If you kind of understand what I'm saying. So I wanted to bring in someone with more of like a different mindset and a different perspective, because I feel like with Damien on his teams, like with NRG, they're always able to conquer different achievements than what Liquid could.
True.
Like they're able to beat Astralis where we couldn't. So it's kind of nice. That's why I also wanted to kind of bring in someone that kind of has like a really completely different mindset, even though I guess some people might see it as like a negative because you don't want to collide two different completely worlds together because it might cause clashes. But I know Damien's always just been like a super easygoing coach, and I've known him ever since the start of my career, so I knew he would just be like a giant benefit for our team, and I think it's been really helpful so far, as I think Merrick's has been getting along with him as well.
but
really
different
well, so.
opinions, I mean, usually lead to more well thought out conclusions, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like it all depends about, I guess, how some people
How
see
you
it. I
communicate
guess.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how
Oh.
people react to it. So.
That's that too.
Could you give one example of when he maybe clashed or differed in an opinion?
Damien?
Yeah.
I mean, so far, I mean, there hasn't been like too many. I don't think like anything like I said, he's very easygoing.
Yeah.
But I think like he will say what needs to be said, no matter how people might feel about it.
Okay.
And it's up to those people how they want to react to it and how they think about it, because in the back of their mind, someone might be stubborn enough to kind of to think about it, but in the end, actually be like, oh yeah, he's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that it's actually a really good thing that as for Damien, like he says what he wants to say, and everybody's like making conclusions. It's the same for me. I say everything I want to say because when I came here, like in the boot camp, I understood that all these players, they don't care in what manner you say or whatever. They understand if you argument it, and they listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not stubborn. They're not like egoistical, you know.
Yeah.
They all of them are just listen to you. They understand. Okay, my bad, and I think that's why we've achieved and done so much work throughout these days. Because if we're like friends with each other and don't tell like criticism, then it's not gonna work. But we were telling each other what we actually think and what we want to change, and everybody just is willing to improve and willing to evolve, and that was the best thing.
I kind of wanted to ask about with your guys' shift, like 9 months ago, you guys switched from the international lineup with, namely Smooya, and you brought on Sunpius, Davy G, but you made like 3 changes. Moving back to a full Spanish roster, has that made things easier for you guys, or is it?
Yeah, it's much easier.
Okay.
It's like just the language. It's helped you a lot to play in Counter-Strike at least.
Yeah.
For us, it's super important.
Yeah. I mean, Counter-Strike is about split-second reactions, informations, and communicating all of that. In your second language, I can imagine it just feels like you're lagging, you know, like you've got like 100 ping.
For me, it was impossible.
Yeah.
That's a funny to say.
Right?
Funny thing to say. It feels like you're
You know, like, I mean, I talked to Zywoo.
I know how I'm feeling Liquid. Like, first 3 days, my mouth was watery. I can't explain what I want in macro, and I'm like, go B.
I was talking to Zywoo about it, because like, it's not even from just leadership's perspective, but playing. You know how, like, auditory processing, so like you're sitting there, you're holding your angles, and you're listening to everyone play, right? And it's kind of you start building a mental picture of where everyone is. You know, you're like, okay, so there's probably 2 mid, there's 2 this, okay, I need to be here, and then if he says that, I'll be there. You know, it's all this like flow chart of what I could do and what I should do. But for when Vitality suddenly went English, he's having to translate and understand what everyone, the mental picture is painted with a very thick brush, you know, it's like it loses its details, and so his reactions were like a couple of seconds off. He's not in the right place where he needs to be at the right time, and it's the power of it, which is why I think it's interesting. Some of these second language teams, you know, look at Mouz, look at FaZe.
But you have to have a really good English. If not, you have to focus on the language and focus on the game. And it's like.
I agree with that, because in my opinion, it's like even with like Shocks, like, you know, like even with like I think his English was like pretty good. But also just like his accent, you know, it's like the French accent could be harder. The way he might pronounce words might be more difficult to understand. Whereas like with Yukinder, it kind of reminds me with like Cirque. Like an energy, like it felt like he was like kind of like a North American anyways, because he got the vibe, the culture, and like the way he speaks, it's easy for everyone to talk to. Where it's like with some people it might be harder. Like like I said, like even like with Vitality, they do have like 3 French players, and you know I don't know like how it is like with accents, like they might speak faster than the others, than the Danish players, you know. So yeah, there's like other things to it that will make it more difficult. So.
Yeah, and it's such a, I mean, the game is such a, you know, a cruel mistress. If you just don't react instantly with what you've processed, you lose that edge. It's an interesting one. I wanted to ask about accountability. Did you bring up accountability in an interview? I saw it was a headline. I didn't even read the article. But I think, why am I admitting myself?
The kick in the, like you guys needed a kick.
A kick in the
that was
ass.
after first loss against Spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you had to do something with that.
Well, how did that loss? Because it felt kind of bad when you got like watching that.
Well, I mean, we had.
But did it help build you guys up for the rest of the tournament run?
Yeah, I think when we had those, if I'm not mistaken, we had 7 match points in Ancient.
Yeah, a lot.
And when we lost that overtime, like the 3rd map overtime, like Overpass this 2 is like classic, like 1-1, we won this 2, they won Overpass, it's like not a problem. Ancient, it was stressful, especially because it's first match of the tournament. Spirit was a good fit for us to play the first game, you know, and when you're playing third map like this and then you lose after having 7 match points, you feel devastated. We had some I think we lost mentally that game. Spirit were just a lot stronger mentally, and we lost. And after that loss, we just talked. We explained that like, what is this? Why are we stressing? Why are we talking like this? Chill. Like I come from a team that we come back so many games. Like
It's true.
It's so many games, and I believe like till the very last moment. And I think my teammates understanding like now, like Liquid guys understanding what I've been through and how I see like these kind of stressful situations. I think it allowed us to win in the end against Furia overtime, like the 0-0 Nation overtime.
That Furia,
like 16-14.
That Furia overtime, by the way, Naf, have you ever, in your life, in your career, saved in a 4v5 disadvantage in back-to-back rounds? Like, was it back-to-back? But it was on T-side Mirage, and I remember I was watching Liquid straight up, like, lose an early kill. Maybe it was regulation or it was overtime. It must have been regulation. And I just watched you both just like fully save, and I'm like, oh my god, it's like they're wearing like an outsider's cosplay.
I know. I remember playing those games. Sometimes like we needed to save because I think like our economy was like really bad, and it's just like we know that we might be going into like a stack somewhere, and like if we really want to ruin our economy and like lose this important round, it's just like it might not just be worth it. So it's just like, all right, we just gotta save. You know?
I mean, yeah, but it's just it's just cool to see, you know, a whole new kind of page in the Liquid book.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like if like you don't believe like you can win the round, or you're even saving 4v5 or whatever. I think like it's worth it, I guess, in the end, because
it just has to be called soon enough so it doesn't end up being an awkward 3v5.
I mean, I just like it because like even when you do save, it also like if you were to go in and lose the round completely, it'll give the team the additional like no pressure, like oh they're gonna be on eco or something, whereas like if you save again, like the pressure's still on, like we can still pull out something where like we can catch them off guard, and like then they're in the bin with like their money.
We were having a round against Spirit, I think, where Spirit popped B. They killed the OC on mid with AWP, and like Keith was car.
Oh yeah.
And I was coming doors, like the mid ramp towards B, and I died as well. Or no. Only Josh died, and Keith was car, and I'm like save, and Keith kills 3.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was like the car.
Just nailed everybody.
I was already throwing Josh's AWP away.
I was just sitting car, and he's just like, I just hear him go save,
and you're like, no.
A bunch of them run out, and I just killed 3 instantly, and I aced the round. I was like, man, you don't trust me.
And did you see how he almost ninja defused?
Yeah.
I was like, go save. Keith's like, okay, I have a smoke. Last 10 seconds, we run out. And I'm like, and I see this different perspective because we would never do that in Outsiders, never.
We actually probably got it. If actually Nick knew where it was planted and he smoked deeper, we actually probably could have won it. The smoke was bad.
Or if you killed third guy.
Yeah, if I killed all 5 again, that could also work, I guess.
With your guys' run, I mean, you took down some really heavy hitters at this tournament. You took down G2, Vitality, and you took down Vitality twice actually. Which of those wins felt the most satisfying?
I think the last one against Vitality, because if we won them, we went to the playoffs. So yeah, it was so satisfying.
When you guys played that nuke game, it felt like on T side, it felt like Vitality did enough in the first half on their T side, and then you guys brought it all the way back and had a sick T side yourself. You got like 8 rounds. You were outmaneuvering them. You were making them look bad. Why do you think they looked so bad versus you guys? Was that you? Was that them?
I don't know. I mean, we just worked hard in the map as team, because I think the meta it changed because the molly that you throw outside. So we just like try to improve a lot on our T side, and we follow the plan that we had before play. So. Yeah, I think we did the thing that we usually do, and it works.
Now, a lot of people are talking about Cologne as like there's lots of potentials, but there is a good, strong likelihood we get NaVi versus FaZe Clan in that final. You played NaVi, you made NaVi work, you made them sweat, but do you have a read on who is the strongest at the end of the season? Who is the team you fear the most right now? Is it FaZe? Is it NaVi? Is it someone else? Is there a team you think has that #1 spot, is the hardest for you to play?
I don't think there is any team right now that can be like literally number one.
100%.
Everyone can win everyone right now.
Yeah.
We could win Navi if we didn't make like some mistakes, but we lose because they are Navi.
Because they're Navi.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to work out. I think this is where the Counter-Strike is at right now. It does feel like it's like a state of flux.
Yeah.
Like anyone can, on any given Sunday. I do hate it from an analytical perspective. Like I
Right.
don't want to be able to sit there and go, well, it depends on the day
Yeah.
and how they're feeling. It's like, it's all just like untangible bullshit.
All the rank 3 through 11 teams didn't make it.
Yep.
Through this.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
This is like you never even know, like with how the teams and how the game is nowadays. Like you never know who might come out of nowhere, you know.
And then you throw on the fact that it's incredibly a mental game. You know, like someone could just be checked out. Someone could be checked out. They you know, they have a life outside of this. This is their job, but they have a life, and that could also be, you know, I mean, it takes a lot of strength to be able to stay entirely invested in the game when other things are happening. So it's up for debate. Is that the answer? Up for debate?
Pretty much. Yeah, there's no rock solid team.
That's fair.
No,
Navi.
You think Navi's the best?
yeah.
Okay.
I just think that Simple and Electronic are the most experienced players in the scene at the moment, and doesn't matter who Navi take as fifth. In this case, Samdang, I think Samdang is a great pickup, but any player would work.
Yeah.
Legit, any player would work, and the core is so strong that it's not the same in any other team. The core is so strong that, and you can imagine instantly how good are these players and coach and like that core if like a fifth guy just comes and they're still qualifying for semifinals and still favorites of the tournament.
That's what I'm saying.
So.
But how good are these guys, where they just pull in a stand-in and then they're in the quarterfinals of a tournament?
I mean, hey, you never know.
I mean,
yeah,
they're Grand Slam
have you ever
winners.
heard of the stand-in winners? You know,
64
right now.
days, I heard. It was a pretty quick run.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's like, I mean, the last time I were in the arena, I mean, yeah, like you said, like we raised the trophy, you know, so.
You got the gold bars here?
Yeah.
Damn. I
Yeah,
want the gold bars.
dude,
as
they did like the speed run
Yeah.
of that. It was 64 days,
Yeah,
and then you won the Grand Slam and Cologne in front of a sold-out crowd to end, and that was it. That's the last Cologne we've had.
That was like the ultimate perfect like ending to the season.
Oh.
That was their last arena as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2019, right?
Yeah, 2019. Yeah.
When you guys won that, Stewie jumped on the table. Would you jump on the table this time?
From like he got onto
Like a
chair and
standing box jump.
He just jumped up on the
then-
desk.
You know how high my table is?
No,
What,
I
does
don't
he-
know if he's gonna be able to do it with
It's
this.
like legit. Like Keith's table is like this, maybe. My table is like this.
Yeah.
Do you
Okay,
like to
jump on
play
his
with your
table.
arms up here?
I'm like I'm
Yeah.
standing. I'm playing standing.
Yeah,
you know?
okay,
Because
basically.
I'm a
Standing
stand-in.
in the you're like that.
It makes me self-conscious. I'm like, is my table too low? Or
Am I doing something wrong?
Am I not like up to the meta right now? My tables or something?
The table meta.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Do you have your measurements written down for it? Like, you know, you can change the height in your
Yeah.
side desks?
We playing 74, I think.
Yeah, 74.
I
Yeah,
remember.
Mopos is playing like Mopos is
I
playing
He's
like
playing like this.
Yeah, I see.
I
Wow,
play 79, I think. Or 80.
79.
Oh my god.
Sheesh. Yeah, but I can't. I remember, like, I've seen Yakinda's player photos. He does play like kind of Frankenstein shoulders. Just a little bit. Yeah, I think that was a great conversation, boys. I don't want to keep you all day. But thank you very much. Thank you to the Movi, thank you to Liquid, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I have no idea what's going to happen when you guys face off.
Well, I'm here to defend my trophy. That's what-
Absolutely.
Oh, no, you shouldn't have said
Yeah.
that. We're jinxed.
I got man.
Jinx isn't real.
That's the confidence, man.
Yeah, it's
I'm always confident.
Brilliant.
But I'm
It's all confidence.
pessimistical, so.
Yeah. Yeah, you're the unknown
Superstitious.
quantity.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mopos is superstitious, no? Well, I've seen he has like,
we
there's like
all
4
kinda
different
like-
objects on his desk.
Yeah.
It's like, there's
Oh,
a
yeah,
photo
what
he
is
has to
that?
look at and touch twice, and then there's other, you know, a few of those.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, fingers crossed.
Just hoping for a good game.
Hell
Hoping
yeah.
for
Let's hope both teams have fun.
always, always have fun. GLHF.
GLHF.
Here we go. Let's start with Mouz. Did you expect Astralis to make playoffs?
To be honest,
Yeah, to be honest.
yeah, in a way, yes.
What do you mean, Jack?
Oh, hold on, I'm setting the.
Pinnacle and Rubit, 2 deep rounds in a row, right? Of course they expect it.
Anything a little bit good is good enough, and you take that on.
Okay, all right, fair enough. They didn't go harsh with the answer. Did you expect Mouz to make playoffs?
No.
There you go. That's what you guys should have said. You want to give another answer?
No.
We didn't expect ourselves to make it.
Yeah.
We just take it game by game. That's all.
Same goes for us. Same goes for us.
Okay. So with that in mind, there's a clear contrast between the two teams, right? The only experienced stage member that you guys have is Frozen. And for you boys, well, it's pretty deep. Farley's really the only one without a huge amount. You know, Blame obviously got a bit with you guys in Copenhagen. Config's had a bit with Ignitus and North Days.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's quite a contrast here. Do you think that gives you a massive edge in the quarterfinal over Mouz?
Not a massive, but could have a bit of edge in the beginning of the game, I think. Because in the beginning you could be like a little more, nervous maybe, and you have to just get into the game and stuff. So maybe we have a bit of an edge there, I would say.
What about preparation? In the sense that it's quite unique in Counter-Strike that you have 3 or 4 days to prepare for a set best of 3, right? Do you think that you are more equipped to prepare for a game like that compared to them in terms of experience?
Nah, I don't think so. But I think we're good at prepping. So of course I think it will help us. But I don't think we have a bigger advantage than these guys have.
Okay.
But I believe it's good for us to have a lot of time to prep.
Okay. What about you? How do you feel about this whole quite a while to prepare mind game into this? That's something that plays in your mind, or just don't care about it? It's just one game.
For me personally, I don't really care about it too much. It's obviously good to know who plays where from them, but like, it's just we have to focus on ourselves, and that's how we really got here. We didn't really think about how Zyro plays or how Hampus plays or anything like that. We just make sure that we're at a stage that we feel confident playing for ourselves, and that's all really.
I'm curious, right? Because I mentioned the difference in experience, right? And you being the most experienced but still a very young player. Do you have like any words for the boys? Like, hey guys, we can do it like this, or is it still for you like, shit, this is still quite a new experience?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's I never played in Lanxess, for example, but so I just told the boys that we should just enjoy the moment there, and yeah, this is how we should take it, no matter what happens. We already reached our goal. Doesn't mean that from now on we're not gonna care, but yeah, we're just gonna go there and enjoy every moment.
Is it scary that they have that mentality that they've already reached their goal? So now it feels like, oh, they've lifted the pressure. They're just out there to have fun.
I think we are kind of the same.
Yeah.
Like, so
that's fair.
Like, whatever comes now is bonus, right? So, yeah.
Okay, so look, there's this stage conversation is where we start to separate. Like, this is where the greatest Counter-Strike team of all time did their absolute best work. And if I'm going to paint it from an analytical perspective, it's a huge deal because you guys know how to play with a crowd, right? Whether against you, because it will be against you, they'll be the home team. Mousesport's German,
Yes.
JDC the only representation.
For sure.
But playing in front of a crowd is a different experience, right? So I'm not trying to here, but if I was looking at this and framing this, I feel you guys having that edge would put more pressure on you to make you the favorites. So I know that you might not see it that way, but can you guys like see that framing that you have all those advantages? You've been out there plenty of times before. You know what it's like to be on the stage. You know what it's like when to look for with certain things with the crowd and stuff, right? So all those little differences, it's another day in the office, especially for the two of you, compared to these boys who are going to go out there and maybe they can't focus on the monitor. Maybe they're a little bit worried about the crowd.
I think so, but I think it's also some time ago we played in an arena. Like, there's been COVID. I mean, the last one was Blast, the Royal Arena. So I don't think we're used to it right now, but I think we have the experience and we can rely on that.
I think all 10 players will get a little bit nervous on that stage, to be honest. I think so. I guess it's also a long time for you.
Yeah.
Since you've been in an arena and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a long time for us. And yeah, so I think all 10 players will get nervous. Even the coaches behind will get nervous. Probably even more nervous throughout the whole game than us. But I see us as a slight favorite. I do, to be honest. I think we have been playing good at this tournament. I think Mousesports has been playing good as well. But yeah, in an arena, I would say we are slightly favorites.
Now that you talk about, it's been a while that you weren't on stage like this. So I wanted to ask you guys, there was a time in Counter-Strike where playing Astralis was a fearsome idea. Like, you didn't want to play them. There's just no go. It's absolutely no fun. You have two of the representatives here. Is that still something that's on your mind, or have we come to the point where I don't want to mean it in a bad way, but like, have we come to the point where playing Astralis now is just another name, or is it still Glev and Zip in front of you on the stage?
Well, for me, it's just another name, to be honest. Even at that, like, yeah, obviously, like you guys were back then the most dangerous team. Even in practice, it was just super cracked to play you. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't really care who we play.
Good.
And yeah, it's just another team.
Because I wonder if it's easy to. But the reason I mentioned that, of course, I had to get wrecked by these guys a long time ago. A long time ago. We don't need to go down that road.
I've been there as well.
So sometimes it's hard to get in your mindset. Oh, I should say, to leave that image of them like as these beasts and just focus on and just shoot headshots. So you feel like you're in that zone for that game. Doesn't matter who they are.
I mean, probably not now, but I hope we will be. Like, even like now, we didn't really think about like who we're gonna play. As Chris said, like we play Zaivu or Hampus, whoever. We just focus on our game, and yeah, I think that's the most important for us.
All right. Well, they're talking about their game. A big part of their game has been T-sides, right? Where the event overall, it's been very CT heavy, but Mouz are one of the teams who are bucking that trend. And I don't want you to give away all your secrets here, but clearly that's something that you're looking at in the demos. What do you think it is of why they've been having good T-sides and everybody else hasn't?
I knew it before this event as well.
Yeah?
I always say like Mouse Sports, they have great T-sides and the CT sides can be a little bit worse.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, when I see they're leading at the T-side, I'm like, maybe they could still lose this game.
Okay.
You know, because you have something with the T side. You're doing really good over there. So yeah, we're looking forward to see. We started a bit, but we're doing more and more prep as the week goes by. And the last day it will be the most, of course. So I'm kind of curious to see what they're doing on the T sides to be that good, and maybe we can steal a couple of things.
Just quickly on that.
I can tell you my secret.
Well, let's have a talk.
Yeah, well, but what I wanted to bring up is this is the GOAT in-game leader who just said T-sides and you're the in-game leader, where the calling matters the most. How does that feel?
Feels amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I was obviously looked up to Glaive during my time in Australia, and before that was Fallen. So obviously it's like, feels good.
You had the same thing with when you came into Mouse Sports. You had the same thing. You won a tournament online, I think.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah. Flashpoint
and
3,
you were
right?
really good on T sides as well.
Yeah.
When you came in, and then the T sides kind of falling a bit down, and now you started to rise it up again.
Yeah.
So it's pretty sick to see, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know, just kind of focused on playing my own game a little bit more and trying to have more forward impact than being a support player from the back.
Yeah, that's good.
So I could have much more better idea, because that's how I feel like you led Astralis back in the day as well.
Yeah.
And that's how I take inspiration from, basically.
It's getting real wholesome for a second.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just
They're being so
getting
nice
emotional
to
over
each
there.
other. You guys have to play each other in the quarterfinal, right?
Yeah, it's always a fight.
We're far away from that. Far away from it.
Oh dear.
I'll start the Twitter banter now.
Well, I think one of the keys is, right, we're talking about the quarterfinal matchup. It's going to be quite the game. I think it's difficult for everybody to separate, but then whoever wins has to play NaVi, right? And you guys already took a map off NaVi, but where you guys were in the other group, so you haven't had an opportunity to play them yet. But this is a team that looks like they're back in form. Like, it looks like they've stabilized since the start of the year, right? So is this a thought where it's like, yeah, we'll get past Mouz, but we're probably going to have our run stop in the semis to NaVi, or we're not even thinking that far yet?
I'm like just focused on Mouz, but I think they're a great team right now, and I think Sondai Young is doing a really great job of standing in, or whatever he is. But yeah, they are a scary team, but we just focus on Mouz.
I think NaVi has really good individuals right now. I mean, so many sick players. Even Electronic as the in-game leaders is able to perform on a really high level. So in that sense, I think they're a scary team to play in the semifinals for both of us. But I think if you play really good yourself, you are able to beat them. And I think both Mouz and us knows that.
How do you take a map of NaVi right now, this NaVi? You guys feel like you did something different? You felt like maybe you want to lead that to your leader? Like, leader, how did we do this?
We had on nuke at least, we had one of the best T-side nukes we had. Best of them.
I messed up CT.
Our T-side, we just had a really good game plan. We were really focused on just making them play individually, and we just have numbers in other places. And and if they wanted to play aggressive, we countered it basically as well, and it worked. It was probably my most like the happiest T side I've ever played in my life. Like seeing like every round just like pre-planned. Like if you go here, be ready for this. We'll do these smokes, and exactly 2 seconds later, Electronic peeks into the line that I expected, and I was like, this is good. And then I guess on the map we actually won was on Mirage. I didn't call any strats. That I just made up a strat every new round. I didn't like full face it called.
Nice.
Just pub called every single round. Just like, all right guys, we do this now. We do this now. And these guys like listened. Everyone listened perfectly. And yeah, we never did anything that we really practiced.
Cool. So how do you prepare for the Face It thing? That's coming.
I mean, what is like, you said before that you don't think that these days will help you a lot with the prep time, but you're talking about you're prepping a lot now, using the smokes to give you an edge over Electronic and stuff. So was it a lie before? Or how's it going?
It was only for that one T side.
Oh, so you're only prepping one T side.
No, it's like, it's different across maps. Okay. If it's Inferno, I go off feeling a lot more. You have to have a plan. Mirage can be either or. So it changes per map.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm interested in, I guess we can do this both ways. What do you think their biggest strength is?
Right now?
T side.
Yeah, the T sides are really good. I think they also have really good players, to be honest. Good individual players. They brought both JDC in and Torsi in from the academy lineup, and it's working out pretty well for those two guys as well. So yeah, good players, good T side. Can have a good CT side as well. We have seen that as well. So,
yeah. One is right.
So,
yeah. Kind of doing it the hard way in the current meta, though, right? Like you're relying on replicating that time and time again, which you have. But if we'd flip the question, what do you think Astralis' biggest strength is at the moment? You can say literally Blame F. I'm sure that one would.
I was watching a lot of Blame F demos lately. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you guys have experience, the players, tactical depth as well. So, yeah, I guess full package.
Okay.
From my point of view, they look very calm in a lot of situations, with very good ideas behind that. So if we're a bit nervous or we're a bit reckless of how we play, then we're just going to get punished.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of outlined one of your weaknesses there. So I guess we'll stay with you guys. What do you think their biggest weakness is at the moment then? I know you just said they're full package, but they have to have a weakness, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Age.
You're one of the older boys as well.
No, we have like so many 19-year-olds.
Sure. But so like, I guess in a way, thinking the idea that your team on aggregate could shoot harder is maybe a fair summary, right? Like, I know we're talking about how Blame F and how he's one of the best players in the tournament right now, but we're talking about young, very good mechanical players on your squad, and if they're not nervous and they're playing with the crowd, then which you will have on your side, that's another thing that I think will make a huge difference. Because I imagine going out there and being against the crowd in your first appearance is one thing. Going out there and knowing that the predominantly German audience will be a fan just because of that logo on your jersey and having JDC on your side, it's going to make a big difference. Like, you guys can attest to that, right? Like, having a home crowd cheering for you is crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy. I think.
But we also used to having a crowd against us.
Yeah, you've had both. You've done both battles.
That's true. That's true. But when we were in Copenhagen, I think it was really nice to have the crowd with us. Also because we had some new guys on stage. We had Luck back then. We had Blame F first time on stage. So that was really nice for us, I think, to have them with us. I don't think it's give you like that big of an advantage like in the game, because I don't feel it, to be honest. But it's like more outside the game, and when you're standing up, you can hype the crowd up and stuff like that. You feel that the arena is with you.
Awesome.
Are you going to give them any tips on how to play with the crowd? You want to give them any advice here? Maybe it can be bad advice. Maybe you can try and sandbag them right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to play with the crowd. No, I mean, if you just hype them up, I think that's good.
Okay, all right. Who's the showman on your team? I feel like it's you.
Dexter.
It might be, yeah.
Me?
No, I was the one on
Frozen,
Frozen.
yeah.
Be Frozen,
Yeah.
right? I'm
Might
too
be.
calm.
I was playing with Finn for a long time, which is he's a crowd favorite, in my opinion. So, yeah, maybe I learned some tricks from him, but yeah, we'll see probably.
All right.
What about JDC? He could be the crowd guy.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, I think they can get into it.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
him and Torji can definitely get into it. If they
Yeah.
get into the moment right, they maybe get one highlight round. It'll be like they'll just go up and up from there. So
Yeah, 100%.
it'll be very important how they start. To be honest,
Mm.
like if they start good, they're gonna embrace the crowd, and maybe love the moment a lot more, and just mentally just have a completely different shift.
For you as a leader, you're going on the stage and you have some rookies around you. Is that in the back of your mind that they could just get swallowed by the pressure, or they could just pop off? Like, how do you deal with that? You know, having questions about how my players are going to show up, because he's got way more security around him as to how people will behave on that stage. For you, it's like, are they going to show up? Aren't they? Like, how do you cope with that? How do you deal with that?
I'm a rookie myself when it comes to playing in playoffs like this, but at least I know that I need to try and keep everyone calm. I need to try and hype them up in the hype moments. So I think it's just all about that, really. I think David and I will just really just like make sure that they know that this is a special moment for them. Like doing bad isn't bad. Doing great, you keep going. Just do whatever you like. You can run through a smoke, no scope, 2 people if you want. I don't care. Just enjoy the moment, and if they enjoy the moment, they won't have any more regrets, win or lose.
Yeah. Whatever happens, happens.
Okay, cool. I want to deviate slightly from the plan here.
Let's do it.
The other side of the bracket, had Movistar come through as a big surprise here, right? I think they've kind of blown everybody away with their run in the tournament. And they're going to be taking on Liquid, who are revitalized, and a foe that you know quite well. So I'm curious, who do you think is going to win that quarterfinal?
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I guess I'm not sure. Like Movistar just won in Valencia, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That was on stage.
Yeah, but it's like a DreamHack open stage.
Yeah. DreamHack open.
Yeah, like 500 people maybe.
500 people. It's still something, right?
I think
So they
Better
can.
than
I think
nothing.
Liquid
Yeah.
has the edge,
Yeah.
like on the stage and stuff like that. Yeah.
I think I would say Movistar.
Okay, so
Oh.
split in the Astralis camp.
Yeah. Why do you say Movistar? What is the idea from behind?
Movistar can be a really strong team, has been one of the best tattoo teams for a long time. Had a bit of a setback lately before Valencia. Then they started to do really good in Valencia, and now they're starting to show up a lot here. So I feel like they've been a team for a long time now. Liquid has Shikindar, who just stepped in. So I think that is why Movistar is going to take it, the experience with the team.
Okay.
Because I think I'm with you on the Liquid one, right? It seems a bit easier to justify Liquid over Movi, right? You're banking on this momentum continuing, and you're banking on this.
I think they're slowing down Movistar now.
Okay.
They just reached their goal, so to say.
All right. So anything more they do is, I guess, I don't want to say miracle, but
I mean, you could say the same for us, but I just think like they had their success already in this tournament, and yeah.
For me, it depends. Is it 500 people watching or 10,000 people watching? Do you get more nervous? Like, would Movistar get more nervous?
I don't know.
You have more experience than probably any of us with having 10,000 people in front of you. So
Yeah.
how does that?
I didn't try 500 that much. I just did, to be honest. And we just did in Sweden.
Yeah, Pinnacle Cup, right?
Right,
Lund.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, what about you boys? Who's going to win that quarterfinal? Mouz or Movi? Sorry, you're Mouz. Movi or Liquid?
Movi, just because I know that they have a deep tactical book. Just from the way they played versus us, we've been the team that's knocked them out like last 2 big comps. But there are lots of glimpses of them like understanding that how to play CS and all that. I think it's just the whole confidence, just taking a fight and winning it and making it easier for the in-game leader kind of thing. So I think they have that confidence now, and if they are able to establish it on the stage, then yeah, definitely they can get somewhere.
Do you see similarities between Movi and yourself going into these quarterfinals?
Yeah, I guess so, because we both have just had like shit tournaments lately. So it's pretty funny to see us. We're both like, oh, hey, how you going? Just like every time we pass them, we're just like, yeah, we've
we're here.
There's a contrast though, right? Like, there's you and Movi in the same boat, two teams who have, you know, had rougher years so far in a big event, the last event of the season, qualifying for the Lanxess, showing everybody that you can do it in this time. The scalps you guys took in the lower bracket is nuts. You just smashed like massive team, like, and then you have the contrast with you guys in Liquid. Two names formerly going toe to toe, the best of the previous generation. Like, well, maybe not previous generation, but pre-COVID, right?
Yeah.
And now both of you are having a resurgence here in the Lanxess.
Yeah,
right?
true.
And then you've got the last two teams. You got FaZe and NaVi, the two best teams in the world. Like, it's actually worked out pretty neatly with the stories, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So every matchup that almost mirrors each side of the bracket here, which is
So that's why we wanted to know who they would favor in the other matchup,
Yeah.
because it speaks a lot about your
Exactly.
matchup, right? If
Yeah.
you say experience is gonna matter, if you say Movi has the momentum, then in a way you're also talking about your game.
Yeah.
And that's the
That's
mirror.
true, actually.
That's why we-
But that's not so good. Oh, yeah. What do we do about that?
It's okay. It's good, it's good
Can
to
we
share.
say something else? or
yeah,
not?
you can scrub the tape. You know?
Don't delete the tapes. They're gonna go out.
Who is the favorite to win the whole thing? Who do you guys think is
You
winning the whole
wanna
thing?
It's okay.
deep first?
So yeah, this is a little thought I was having last night. I'm sitting there on the couch and I'm thinking to myself, who is the favorite? And it's either NaVi or FaZe, obviously.
Yes.
But who? And I cannot pick one of the two because I go like give the framing of the whole last 12 months.
I know.
NaVi come out of the pandemic, they win Cologne, they win the next major, best team in the world, the war happens, the boomage bullshit happens, they get rid of that, they bring in SDY, they start to stabilize. In the meantime, FaZe come through, they add ROPS, it's the piece of the puzzle they need, they win Katowice, they win the major, then they're like, yeah, Dallas, whatever, yeah, the small tournaments, whatever, right, we're going to focus on the big ones. And now it's a chance for both teams at the end of the season to consolidate, right? And say, we're the number one team in the world. And when you go player for player, it's so difficult to draw. You've got the veterancy of Carrigan up against the fragging power of Electronic, right? Because we're comparing in-game leader for in-game leader. You get Simple, the best player in the world, going up against Brokey, who is still a top 5 AWPer in the world. And in those type of environments, when it's so hard. I genuinely cannot give you a prediction as much as that's a cop-out. Like if you asked me and you had a gun to my head and I had to say one, I think I would...
I know.
I would lead to NaVi.
Yes, you have to.
It's the
yes, you have
sentiment
to
as well, though, right? It just feels like it.
Because I think we all have this kind of feeling that they might, and as much as it's a stereotype to say that, but just want it more. As really want it more. As in, you know, that feeling, I mean, you can probably, you know what it is to go into a tournament and have that extra hunger that is just beyond what we all just say, like, yeah, we want to lift the trophy. Yeah, that's awesome. I think they want it. I think they have a claim to make.
Well, that's an important question for you guys, too. Who do you think is the favorite out of FaZe and NaVi?
I mean, for me, I think CS got to the point where literally almost every team can beat every team. And yeah, I mean, it's just those 5 extra %. If one team wants it way more than the other one, like that can give you the advantage in the match. So for me, I don't have a clear favorite here. Like we're also here in the playoffs. Nobody expected that, right? And yeah, I think it's pretty crazy these days in CS. Everybody can beat everybody, so I can't really tell.
You agree with that, Chris?
I agree with that definitely, but in terms of if I had to choose, then I'd probably say NaVi. But this week, going into the playoffs, I think Carrigan's gonna like just come up with like all this kind of stuff that we need to do and all this stuff. So maybe just that 1 week of just full focus mode can just like be the difference maker, and we don't really know what's going to be going on in his mind during this week, so it'll be exciting to see.
Just a quick one on that. We all here we're discussing about the quarterfinals, and then we're having to talk about NaVi and FaZe lifting the trophies. You guys, is there a world in your mind right now where you see yourself lifting the trophy, or are we in a moment where NaVi and FaZe just seem like there ain't no taking it away from them? Or can you close your eyes and can you see yourself on the stage lifting a trophy? How far is that reality for you?
For me, it's a far reality, but at the same time, I believe it. It's just the way we've taken our approach to this tournament so far. It's been game by game. It's like I don't really set expectations too high in general. So we'll just play and see what happens. And I think when it happens, it happens. And if I wake up in the morning and I envision like my winning tweet and what I'm gonna do, my reaction, then yeah, that's what I'm gonna have that feeling.
All right.
I had it as MIP. I woke up in the morning and I was like thinking, just like, this is the tweet I'm gonna write when I win. This is my reaction when I win. I did exactly it.
You know what's funny? I actually had the feeling that after we win, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what is your tweet if you're going to beat us?
You have a tweet already.
Give me a few more days.
I say one of the underdogs. One of the 4 underdogs is going to be in the grand final.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
Because this is a tournament for the underdogs. Have to have one of them in the grand final.
Well, I think between the 4 of you, Liquid, Movi, Mouz, Astralis, you guys have sent home teams 3 to 10.
Yep.
So we're just left with 1 and 2. So you've sent home everybody else.
So one last step.
One by one.
Yeah.
One by one.
You guys can do it as a collective here. Your power is combined.
I think they did a lot, right?
Yeah, that log.
Yeah, they got rid of a lot of
heroic.
We cleaned up.
MIP, send them packing. The amount of teams that you guys have sent to now go have roster changes, you got to think about that as well. You'll be responsible.
Should
for
have
that.
a list of teams and changes that happen.
You can have that in your tweet when you win the whole thing.
What about you guys? You asked the question about FaZe or NaVi. Zip, who do you think is going to win? FaZe. Well, who do you think is a favorite if it is FaZe NaVi?
I actually think that right now I'd say FaZe, but I think it's more like of how like they really want this tournament, like end of the season, and I know Kerrigan, he's gonna prepare like madman, so yeah, I'd say FaZe.
Well, you posed the question.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna say NaVi.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know why. If I have to pick one of those guys, it's going to be NaVi this time, I think.
I think that there though summarizes the sentiment for everybody right now. The community, the teams. I know that later we're doing one of these with NaVi and FaZe, doing the same thing you guys are. And I hope whoever's interviewing them asks that same question to them, because sure, you're going to feel yourself that, yeah, we're the better team with it. But realistically, I'm not sure if they could separate each other. Like,
probably not.
How could you? Where are you going to draw what the differentiating factors? It's a fun one, and you guys are here to, you know, I'm not trying to put a negative spin on this, but you're here to play spoiler to the season ending with the world number 1 versus the world number 2.
Yeah.
That's what, you know, the other 4 names are doing. You guys can come in and you can just be like, actually, fuck that noise. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
Let's try.
Okay.
Let's try our best.
Sweet.
There we go.
I think we're done.
Good words.
Everyone happy
We're
with
good.
this? Cool.
All right.
Great chat.
Thank you, everybody.
Good stuff, boys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.